I was interviewing the top-tier idol who's like a cute puppy. Throughout the entire session, every time I called him by his name, he gave me a resentful look. After it was over, I couldn't take it anymore. I know we've broken up, but could you please cooperate during work? Otherwise, it's just rude. The puppy idol pouted and said, "Sis, you kept calling me Funi, but my stage name is Fuyi." Funi is a rising young idol who's been dubbed the Little Fuyi. What makes someone who just recovered from COVID-19 drag themselves to work? Is it love? Is it responsibility? It's the paycheck. Just 2 more gigs, and my boss can buy himself a brand new sports car. Holding on to this belief, I rushed frantically to the TV station. My assistant hurriedly handed me the script. Yanyan. The interviewee this time is a super popular A-list idol. He's incredibly handsome, the kind that makes you tear up just looking at him. His name is Funi. Funi? What kind of weird name is that? Unfortunately, I was running too late to ask more questions. I changed my clothes, grabbed the script, and headed straight into the recording room. And then, I froze when I saw the man inside. Wasn't this my ex-boyfriend? That innocent puppy I dumped had become a top-tier idol and changed his name to Funi? There was too much information to process, and I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. Let's welcome Funi. As soon as the words left my mouth, the puppy idol turned his head and looked at me. His gaze was resentful, aggrieved, and tinged with innocence. For some reason, I felt a pang of guilt. After all, I was the one who dumped him back then. I averted my eyes, cleared my throat, and braced myself to start the interview. Funi, could you share your thoughts on wrapping up this movie? The puppy paused, glanced at me again, and only then began to answer. And after that, every time I asked a question, he would look at me. It's not like the answers are written on my face. Why keep looking at me? Suppressing my irritation, I finally reached a last question. Funi, everyone is curious about your ideal type. Could you share a bit? The puppy looked at me yet again and said, I like the older sister type. Just say it straight, no need for dramatic pauses. By the end of the interview, I was completely drained. Thankfully, it was finally over. During the break, I couldn't hold back anymore and felt a surge of anger. While no one was paying attention, I hurried over to him. Listen, even though we've broken up, you should still be professional at work. Why did you keep staring at me during the interview? The puppy frowned at me, looking utterly wronged. Because you kept calling me by the wrong name, sis. I'm Fuyi, not Funi. Fuyi gazed at me with the most pitiful eyes, looking like he was about to cry any second. And when I thought about what I had done, help! I wanted to dig a hole and disappear right then and there. Even more despairing. That night, I went through round after round of dubbing, changing the name Funi to Fuyi in every possible tone. What kind of cruel punishment was this? By the time the dubbing was done, it was completely dark outside. My phone buzzed with an apology text from my assistant. Sorry, Yanyan. You know I'm from the South, so my pronunciation isn't the clearest. I sighed. Southerners would like to respectfully decline being the scapegoat for this. Just as I stepped out of the dubbing room, a strong force suddenly yanked me aside. Was someone trying to assault me? Before I could let out a scream, I was pulled into a storage room. A familiar voice whispered in my ear, Don't scream, sis. Be careful, or someone might hear us. Fuyi. Why was he still here? I was still wondering when footsteps echoed from outside the door. Finally off work. Let's hurry and leave. Wait. I need to put this back in the equipment room. The equipment room. That seemed to be exactly where I was right now. If they opened the door and we came face to face, how would I explain this? My scalp went numb as the footsteps grew closer, my heart pounding wildly. Without thinking, I instinctively pressed myself even closer to Fuyi, hoping to make myself as small as possible and avoid being noticed. Just as the door began to open, I felt a pair of strong hands wrap around my waist, lifting me up. In a flash, we slipped into a hidden corner behind 2 tripods. Huh? Did something just move? Something moved. It's late at night. Who else would be here? It's not like some celebrity is having a secret tryst here, right? Ugh. Let me go check. Tears welled up in my eyes from fear. The hands around my waist and the breath against my neck were pushed to the back of my mind. Just then, another voice chimed in. Don't bother checking. Let's just go. I think you're so hungry you're hallucinating. Who would come to this messy place anyway? Yeah, you're right. Soon, the footsteps faded into the distance until they disappeared completely. Only then did I let out a deep sigh of relief. Finally, saved! I felt my legs go weak. Right then, a pleasant yet slightly hoarse voice sounded above me. Sis, Aren't you going to let go? Let go? I looked down and saw his shirt crumpled tightly in my grip. And the intimate position we were in. My face flushed bright red in an instant. Sorry. I immediately let go, buried my head, and tried to make a run for it. But to my surprise, Fuyi grabbed my wrist, pinned it above my head, and leaned in close. In the dark, cramped room, we were extremely close, so close I could feel his breath on my face. It's been 5 years, hasn't it? After not seeing me for so long, don't you want to talk to me, sis? For some reason, in that ordinary sentence, I sensed a hint of grievance. Then again, you even forgot my name. So how could you possibly remember me? His tone grew more and more dejected, and I couldn't help but speak up. No, I do remember. As soon as the words left my mouth, I could see his eyes light up even in the darkness. Really? What do you remember? My face? Or my body? Fuyi's voice was hoarse, laced with a hint of temptation. It's been so long since we last saw each other, sis. Don't you want to catch up with me? In that moment, I felt it clearly. He was trying to seduce me. Before I could reply, Fuyi had already lowered his head, his lips brushing lightly against mine, sending a jolt through me like an electric shock. Oh no, the entertainment industry, this big, messy world, had finally corrupted my once innocent puppy. It's been so long since I've been this close to you, sis. Fuyi leaned in, his face almost touching mine as he spoke. Don't you want to chat with me? Oh my god. I couldn't hold back anymore. Finally, I opened my mouth. Cough, 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 cough. A fit of coughing so violent I nearly choked, mixed with some phlegm, shattered all the atmosphere, leaving only Fuyi's stiffened body and my own overwhelming desire to disappear into the ground. After a long pause, he sighed helplessly. Let's go. I'll take you home. Maybe it was a lingering effect of COVID-19. As soon as I got in the car, I felt utterly exhausted and uncontrollably drifted off to sleep. I don't know how much time passed, but I vaguely felt someone very close to me. Sis, wake up. We're home. I groggily opened my eyes, unbuckled my seatbelt, and tried to get out of the car. And then I realized, this isn't my home. Staring at the unfamiliar villa in front of me, I was dumbfounded. Fuyi looked completely calm. I didn't know where you lived, so I brought you to my place. It's not like you've never been to my home before. We did plenty of things there. Don't play innocent now. But it's been 5 years since we last talked, sis. I wasn't sure if you'd moved. Fuyi looked utterly innocent. Come upstairs and make yourself comfortable. I'll make you some Lianhua Qingwen tea. I really wanted to refuse, but he held my hand firmly, his expression leaving no room for argument. In the end, I went upstairs. He rummaged through the shoe cabinet and pulled out a pair of pink bunny slippers. These slippers looked familiar. It seemed they were the same pair I wore at Fuyi's place 5 years ago. Why? Were they still here? This kid couldn't actually still be hung up on our past, could he? Yikes. What's his zodiac sign again? So loyal? Definitely not my Sagittarius. Counting back, when we were together back then, he was still a college student. We were passionately in love for over half a year, until my career hit its upward swing. Every day was a frantic rush, leaving no time for romance at all. Slowly, I went from replying to his messages instantly to replying. Eventually, the time we spent together also grew less and less. As he approached graduation, I hesitated for a few days before finally bringing up the breakup. Later on, while I was lost in thought, Fuyi emerged from the kitchen, holding a bowl. Sis, have some ginger tea. I looked up and realized he'd grown even more attractive than before, with an added touch of a mature man's charm. His collar was slightly open, revealing a delicate, fair collarbone, a perfect blend of innocence, allure, and maturity. He was truly one of a kind. Who wouldn't be tempted? I swallowed hard and forced myself to look away. Why did you enter the entertainment industry? Weren't you studying finance? Because you're in the entertainment industry, sis. I was stunned, whipping my head around to stare at him. He looked nonchalant. You said you were too busy, but I wanted to stand by your side. As long as I joined the entertainment industry, you couldn't leave me behind. As he spoke, he stepped closer, resting his head against my neck. Sis, please don't abandon me again, okay? Why, you're an idol now. You can't be in a relationship. Let go quickly. But Fuyi's lips began to wander restlessly. His voice was muffled. I can leave the industry, as long as you agree. I'll terminate my contract with the company right away. Why does this kid seem a bit lovesick? I took a deep breath, trying to push him away and reason with him. You're a public figure. If you break your contract, the penalty won't be small. Don't be reckless. It's fine. My dad invested in the company. He'd be thrilled if I terminated the contract and went home to take over the family business. My heart ached. Why is the gap between people so vast? Maybe I should just win him over, become a wealthy lady, and never work again? But no, he's an idol. One with 70 million fans. We both can't be so irresponsible. Fuyi, we've already broken up. I murmured this with my eyes downcast. His buried head suddenly stiffened. A long time passed before he slowly pulled away. Sis, you don't want to get back together with me, do you? I whispered. No, another long silence followed. Finally, he suddenly stood up. Then, I'll take you home. Even though I made it home safely, I still ended up adding Fuyi on WeChat, because he insisted that even after breaking up, we could still be friends. In the end, I couldn't resist him and added him. But as for his daily shares and messages during his free time, I didn't reply to a single one. Days passed until finally, our interview was released. True to his top-tier status, within 3 minutes, the interview shot straight to the trending searches. Hashtag Fuyi interview Suicidal type. Hashtag the way Fuyi looks sadder. I understand the first two. But what on earth is the third one about? Baffled, my finger unconsciously tapped into it. The first post on Weibo, Gossip Explorer. The way he looks at her really can't be called innocent. The attached image showed Fuyi looking up at me. The comments below were all following the same trend. The entire screen was filled with, I ship it. My hands trembling, I tried to salvage the situation, frantically commenting below. What innocence. Fuyi's just being polite, isn't he? The moment I posted the comment, Weibo suddenly alerted me. This trending post had been liked by Fuyi. This guy. Why choose now to have a slip of the finger? Right then, my phone suddenly rang. It was my boss. Emergency. Get back to the company ASAP. When I rushed to the TV station, the meeting room was packed. Everyone's expressions were extremely serious. As soon as I sat down, the boss began speaking. The first thing I'm about to say is extremely important. It's about Fuyi. My heart skipped a beat. Then, the boss suddenly looked straight at me. His gaze intense enough to bore a hole through my face. Fuyi's agent just called me. My heart was in my throat. Fuyi wants to sign a long-term variety show contract with us from now on. Zhu Yang, did you know Fuyi before? As soon as the words were out, my colleagues all turned to look at me. Under their collective gaze, my heart tightened, and my words stumbled. And no, I don't. The boss gave me a deep look, then finally nodded. All right, everyone, get ready. This project is urgent. Work overtime and get it done. This quarter's bonuses are doubled. Amidst everyone's cheers, I walked out, my legs feeling a bit weak. Fuyi, what are you up to? Because of the collaboration, I saw Fuyi at the company more and more often. But in front of others, we were merely nodding acquaintances. However, once we were alone, Fuyi would immediately send me messages. Sis, your lipstick shade today is really nice. It suits you so well, sis. Your heels are a bit high today. Be careful not to twist your ankle. I could only pretend not to see them every time. One day, as usual, I came to the company to record a show and saw my assistant and a few producers gathered together, laughing. No need to guess, Fuyi was definitely here. Every time he showed up, the girls at the company acted a bit unusual. Fuyi's outfit today is so handsome. I really want to ask for an autograph. Don't even think about it. His agent wouldn't allow it. I think I just heard them arguing. My hand, applying eyeshadow, suddenly paused. Without thinking, my legs carried me to the door of Fuyi's break room. Voices came from inside. Aren't you going to explain? This matter will affect you to some extent. The voice was somewhat unfamiliar, probably his agent. Then I heard Fuyi's cold laugh. I said when I signed with the company, I joined the entertainment industry to find her. This day was bound to come. But you're in your rising phase right now. I don't care. Hearing Fuyi's resolute voice, my heart trembled violently. Was the person he said he was looking for me? Lost in thought, the door suddenly opened. I was caught red-handed. How could you eavesdrop on us? I was so embarrassed I wanted to dig a hole and hide. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I'll leave right away. Just as I turned to go, my hand was caught by a large, distinctively boned hand. Sis, keep me company, okay? I wanted to refuse, but he threatened me with reddened eyes. If you don't stay with me, sis, I'll post on Weibo saying I have a crush on you. I was stunned. Has this kid lost his mind? What nonsense are you talking? Don't you care about your career? As long as I have you, sis, that's enough. I don't care about anything else. I thought for a moment and decided to sit down, intending to persuade him to have some ambition in his career. Have you seen Wang Baochuan digging wild vegetables or He Yichen eating bamboo shoots for 7 years? Being lovesick is not good, Fu Yi. Fu Yi didn't say anything, but judging from his expression, he hadn't taken in a single word. I was at a loss. In the end, I was forced to have a meal with him before he finally let me leave the break room. The moment I stepped out, I ran straight into Fu Yi's agent. Clearly, he was waiting for me. "You're Fu Yi's ex-girlfriend, aren't you?" I was about to deny it when the agent cut me off. No need to pretend. Fu Yi has kept himself clean all these years and has never been this close to any woman. The agent looked me up and down. "If you care about Fu Yi, keep the relationship low-key." After saying this, the agent walked into the room. I returned to my own break room and immediately took out my phone. My private messages on Weibo's alt account were about to explode. "Sis, you must be a new fan. If you look at our boy's past interviews, you can see he always keeps a straight face, as if everyone owes him 550 yuan. Actually, when our boy debuted, he said he entered the industry for his crush. We should be happy for our boy. He's finally reunited with his crush." I scrolled through the private messages one by one, then clicked into the fan super topic. Wow, the super topic was in complete chaos. One side consisted of longtime fans who knew Fu Yi entered the industry for someone else. They had long been mentally prepared. The other side were new fans, accusing Fu Yi of failing as an idol. The two sides were arguing fiercely, and my real name had also been pushed onto the trending searches. I quickly logged into my main account. Wow, it had never been this lively before. "Sis, look at our boy. He's handsome, can act, can dance, and has a promising future. Stay away from our boy. You're not right for him." All kinds of private messages flooded in. After thinking it over, I decided to send Fu Yi a message about the Weibo situation. "Maybe you should explain it?" No reply. 3 minutes later, the break room door opened. Fu Yi was panting, clearly having run over. The moment he saw me, his eyes reddened. "Why should I explain? Sis, is it because you don't want to have any connection with me? Do you dislike me? Not like me, so you're eager to get rid of me?" He bent down, burying his head in the crook of my neck. "You're really so cold, sis. You broke my heart back then. And after, you just acted like it never happened. Now you want to cut ties with me too. Is that it?" I was at a loss for words, completely unsure how to respond. "Sis." Fu Yi's voice was muffled, carrying an indescribable grievance. "Do you really not like me at all? Not even a little bit?" He lifted his head, tears already swirling in his eyes. "Tell me the truth." For a moment, guilt washed over me, and my mouth began comforting him uncontrollably. "How could that be? You're so handsome. I do like you a little. I know." Fu Yi immediately broke into a smile through his tears. "Then I'll make sure you like me a little more." As he said this, Fu Yi finally let go of my hand and walked out. Opening the door, I could clearly see in the glass reflection outside that Fu Yi had returned to his serious and smiling expression. He looked like a completely different person from the one who had been tearfully questioning me in the break room just moments before. Somehow, I suddenly remembered an interview with a veteran actor. The veteran actor said Fu Yi was the best actor among all the newcomers he'd seen, especially in crying scenes, the kind who could aim for best actor after a few more years of experience. So, was I just tricked by his acting skills? Still lost in thought, a producer from next door rushed in, nearly sliding on her knees right in front of me. "My sis, my one and only sis, only you can help me now. The variety show next door is missing a host. You need to step in quick." I refused without a second thought. "No, I haven't seen the script. Besides, aren't you already halfway through recording?" The producer looked at me on the verge of tears. We were halfway through when the host suddenly had a stomachache and went to the hospital. The producer half pushed, half dragged me into the studio. And then I saw Fu Yi, smiling brightly, and his agent, whose face was icy cold. Yikes, didn't I just say to keep a low profile? And now we're directly on a show together? I'm going to get torn apart. My mind was a chaotic mess, almost forgetting we were in a post-breakup phase. Recording resumed, and I realized that the rest was mostly game segments. It required pairing up in twos. Fu Yi immediately stood next to me. "Sis, I'll be in your group." He said it quietly, but everyone on stage still heard clearly. They all turned to look at us. "Help. I want to dig a hole and disappear." No matter what anyone thought, the games began. We were playing Pictionary. Fu Yi was full of confidence. "Sis, We're so in sync. We're definitely going to be first. I wanted to cry. Please, stop talking. I don't want to get torn apart by fans. Finally, it was our turn. Fu Yi was responsible for acting out the clues. We really did have tacit understanding. I could guess almost every gesture he made. Even another host exclaimed, wondering if we had some kind of telepathy. And Fu Yi's agent had already crushed a water bottle off stage. I don't know what word it was, but Fu Yi suddenly lit up and blew me a flying kiss, causing gasps from both on and off stage. I took a startled step back. Fu Yi then gestured a triangle. I thought I understood something, but I shook my head without hesitation. I don't know. Luckily, time ran out, and the game ended. Cold sweat dripped down my back. Looking back, I realized the answer was probably the small grove. Fu Yi, however, pursed his lips tightly, staring at me without moving. I knew why he looked like that. Back then, we had an unspoken tacit understanding. The small grove behind Fu Yi's school was where we went on dates most often. A flying kiss as a hint meant, let's go to the small grove. I thought these things would never be brought up again. But I never expected this game and Fu Yi's gestures. The more I thought about it, the more despair I felt. I couldn't stand this game for one more second. Finally, recording ended, and someone suggested everyone go for a meal. I quickly made an excuse, grabbed my bag, and ran far away from this trouble. Unexpectedly, just as I stepped out of the company's main entrance, a car pulled up right in front of me. Fu Yi was staring intently at me. He mouthed the words, "Get in the car." There were paparazzi all around the TV station. To avoid trouble, I had no choice but to get in the car immediately. Fu Yi drove me away, heading in what seemed like the direction of his place. After hesitating, I spoke up. "You can drop me off at the intersection. I can get home myself." Screech! A sudden sharp brake. Fu Yi stopped the car, gripping the steering wheel tightly, veins bulging on his hands, his eyes filled with anger. "Why are you always avoiding me, sis? You say it's for my own good, but you clearly know I like you. I entered the entertainment industry for you. You just don't want to acknowledge me, is that it?" "Me? Didn't we agree back then? We're in a sister-brother relationship. It's not really suitable. We could just have fun, not take it seriously. So you just wanted to be irresponsible, is that it?" Playing with my feelings back then, and breaking up once the novelty wore off. With that, Fu Yi unbuckled his seatbelt and leaned toward me. The next moment, I was trapped in his arms. "Do you think I'm being unreasonable, sis? That I'm pestering you? Do you regret ever getting involved with me in the first place?" Fu Yi's eyes were bloodshot, staring at me, but one hand was cradling the back of my head, afraid I'd bump it. "Zuyang, tell me, were you just toying with my feelings?" It was the first time he'd called me by my full name, with anger. "Where are we not suitable? If you don't like me being in the entertainment industry, I can leave. If you're afraid my parents won't approve, I can take you to meet them. You won't even give me a chance. How do you know we're not suitable?" Fu Yi and I were face to face. My reflection was clearly visible in his eyes. Only when a tear slid from the corner of my eye did Fu Yi suddenly snap back to reality, quickly releasing me. "I'm sorry, sis. I didn't mean to scare you." He hurriedly reached out to wipe my tears. "Actually, I just had my eyes open too long." Fu Yi fumbled anxiously to comfort me. Finally, he unlocked the car doors. "Go home, sis. Be safe." Fu Yi hung his head, looking exactly like a puppy no one wanted. I paused, then finally got out and left. But after getting home, Fu Yi's words kept replaying in my mind. What was I afraid of? Afraid that the gap between our family backgrounds was too great, that he clearly had better options. Afraid that when love faded in the future, Fu Yi would still be in his prime, while I would have aged. I pretty much collapsed into sleep. My dreams were filled with Fu Yi calling me sis. When I woke up again, I realized the house was empty and pitch dark. I'd been woken by a phone call. There were many missed calls on my phone, all from an unknown number. If I didn't answer once, they'd call again. Just as I was about to call back, the phone rang once more. "Who is this? Are you Zuyang?" I confirmed, and the person on the other end let out a long sigh. "Thank goodness. I'm Fu Yi's agent. Fu Yi is unreachable right now. He posted a bunch of emo stuff on his social media. I'm afraid the media will see it, but his phone is with him. Can you contact him?" I hung up, opened my social media, and saw it was almost entirely posts from Fu Yi. 5 years. Nothing is worth it. Some people are truly heartless. The last post had a picture. Fu Yi was standing by the sea, with turbulent waves crashing below. This kid isn't planning to commit suicide, is he? I panicked instantly and immediately called him. Unexpectedly, The call actually went through. Sis. His voice was especially hoarse, as if he had just been crying. Where are you now? Don't you dare think about doing anything stupid. I'm telling you, whatever's going on, we can sit down and talk it through. Really? Can we talk about dating too? I gritted my teeth and immediately said yes. Where are you right now? Downstairs at your place. Huh? I froze for a moment, then ran to pull open the curtains. Fuyi's car was parked right below. Through the phone, his voice came again. Sis, can we talk now? In the end, Fuyi's manager, his assistant, and a certain leader from their company all came together. They stood in a dark, crowded mass, filling my small living room. I felt a bit awkward looking at my cramped space. Wherever I went, Fuyi followed me like a shadow. So, you weren't going to jump into the sea? I asked while making tea. No. I went to find this. Fuyi opened his hand, revealing a pink shell in his palm. Sis, you said that if I ever found a pink shell, you'd agree to one of my requests. My feelings were complicated as I looked at Fuyi, his eyes sparkling brightly. Didn't he understand how he could remember something I casually mentioned 5 years ago for so long? Finally, Fuyi and I sat together, facing his manager and the leader across from us. We looked like a young couple caught puppy love. Fuyi was still holding my hand tightly, refusing to let go. The leader glanced at me. So this is the reason you said you wanted to enter the entertainment industry in the first place? Fuyi nodded. Are you planning to stay in the industry from now on? Fuyi turned to look at me again, clearly asking for my opinion. Everyone else also turned their gaze toward me, especially the hopeful look in Fuyi's manager's eyes. It was impossible to refuse. I think it's good for you to stay in the industry. After all, it would be a waste not to have that face in the spotlight. Then I'll listen to Sis. The manager immediately nodded. I'll start preparing the PR. Some keywords will need to be adjusted as well. Come to the company for a meeting tomorrow. The group chattered for a long time, talking late into the night until Fuyi started shooing them away. Finally, only the two of us were left at home. Fuyi busied himself in the kitchen, making noodles for me. When he brought the bowl to me, he blinked and asked, Sis, does this mean we're together now? I nodded, and Fuyi immediately rushed over, hugging me tightly. Sis, you can't leave me alone again this time. After dinner, Fuyi refused to leave no matter what, coming up with all sorts of excuses. He said his eyes hurt and he couldn't see the road clearly, then complained of a headache and said it wasn't safe for him to drive. In the end, he brazenly climbed into my bed, patting the space beside him. Sis, come to bed. Sis, see if I've grown up. Sis. The next day, Fuyi went to the company to discuss his future plans. Meanwhile, I headed to my workplace to prepare for the day's work, interviewing a highly respected veteran artist. This artist had actually worked with Fuyi before. During a break in the recording, while I was organizing my notes, suddenly everyone looked up at me. Why were they all looking at me so strangely? Just as I was about to ask, the veteran artist excitedly grabbed my hand. Are you and Fuyi dating? That one sentence instantly set off the recording studio. Yang, why didn't you tell us? Yeah. You should have shared something so important with us. Baffled, I faced their questions until someone handed me their phone. Fuyi secretly meets beautiful host late at night. The photo showed Fuyi parking his car outside my door. What was going on? We'd been photographed. So, is it true? The veteran artist gripped my hand excitedly. Nothing like the composed figure from earlier. Truly, human nature is all about gossip. Finally, after the interview ended, I hid in the restroom and called Fuyi. Sis, did you miss me? Fuyi's captivating voice came through the phone. I missed you too, sis. I'll come home early tonight. I quickly told Fuyi to check online, but he didn't seem surprised at all. I know. The paparazzi offered the photos to the company for 300,000. We refused, so they posted them. We were going to go public sooner or later anyway. Fuyi's tone was innocent, but I couldn't help suspecting he might have leaked the photos himself. What did your company say? Nothing much. They listened to my dad, and my dad doesn't interfere with me. Is this the daily life of a wealthy young master? Sis, my parents want to meet you. Is this weekend okay? Before I could meet his parents, the variety show Fuyi recorded was about to air. I clicked to watch, and the comments were all discussing Fuyi. Mostly things like my son is so handsome. Then, in the second half, when I appeared and the host explained the reason for the last-minute replacement, the comments were overwhelmingly, look at Fuyi's priceless smile. He was so serious just a moment ago. Buddy, your eyes are practically glued to her. Later, during team assignments, Fuyi stood next to me. The comments were flooded with, I ship it. I ship it. Then, during a game segment, because I didn't guess the meaning of Little Woods, Fuyi clearly looked unhappy, and the comments exploded again. Could there be some untold story between them? Look at that flying kiss, it's definitely not innocent. The Civil Affairs Bureau. I brought myself here. When are you two getting married? To my surprise, the comments were quite harmonious. Not at all like people were opposed. I logged onto Weibo, where my name and Fuyi's were trending again because of the variety show. Sis is so beautiful. Fuyi's punching above his weight. We'll leave him in your care from now on. Everyone knows Fuyi entered the industry to chase his girlfriend. Now that he's caught her, of course he's going to show off like crazy. This comment was even liked by Fuyi, pushing it to the top of the trending list. So, the crisis was resolved just like that? In a daze, the weekend arrived. Fuyi and I met his parents together. Fuyi's father was an extremely serious man, carrying an aura of authority even without anger. In contrast, Fuyi's mother was very warm, pulling me aside to chat about all sorts of things and even sharing some gossip with me in secret. While we were eating, Fuyi's father suddenly spoke up. What are your plans for the future with Fuyi? His question startled me, and I immediately put down my knife and fork. We plan to get married, right, sis? Fuyi placed a piece of cut steak on my plate, his tone hopeful. We'll get married once our relationship is stable, right? I quickly nodded, and Fuyi's parents seemed to sigh in relief as if a weight had been lifted. That's wonderful. Here, have some more. I was caught off guard by the sudden shift. I think you and Fuyi are a perfect match. When are you planning to get married? The bride price is not an issue. I was even more confused. So, his parents were fine with it too. That night, Fuyi posted on Weibo, getting ready to bring her home. Extra one, this is ridiculous. Not only did Fuyi's manager sign us up for a dating show, but on this show, I actually saw someone named Funi. How? Does this person actually exist? I immediately searched online. This person had been in the industry for quite some time. Because he bore some resemblance to Fuyi and deliberately imitated his style of dressing, he was often called Lil Fuyi. I couldn't help staring at Funi a few more times in shock. That night, Fuyi cornered me in a narrow space against the wall, his tone fierce. If I catch sis staring at him like that again, I'm going to get angry. I chickened out and nodded without hesitation. After all, I've come to realize something now. Fuyi is no longer the innocent, harmless little puppy I knew back then. Now he's a full-blown wolf in sheep's clothing. So nowadays, I generally avoid provoking him. Did you hear me, sis? Stay away from him. Fuyi buried his face in the crook of my neck, his voice low and threatening. I still remember how you called me by his name when we met. I remember you called it 12 times. Make sure you compensate me properly later. Woo-woo. My legs are weak. Extra to a long time later, I finally learned the truth. Why were the fans able to accept our relationship so quickly? Aside from Fuyi having stated from the beginning that he entered the entertainment industry for me, the bigger reason was, he had already said that if we ever got together and the fans tried to stand in our way, he would leave the industry. The fans couldn't take that risk, so they had no choice but to reluctantly accept it. And why were Fuyi's parents able to accept it so quickly? Fuyi's mother said with a smile, because he told us a long time ago that he would never marry anyone but you. Once he sets his mind on something, no one can change it. Fortunately, you accepted him. Otherwise, this kid would have been destined to stay single for life. I looked up toward the bedroom, where Fuyi was seriously playing the role of a dad, changing little Fuyang's diaper. He's even more skilled than I am. Life is good. The end.